Cage Minds, Mika Frankl, at the Jackson Wink Academy. And we got Kayla Yontef joining us off of her impressive pro debut victory at Invicta FC 44. Thank you for the time, ma'am. How you doing?
Good, I'm good. I just got done with my first Monday back, and so, doing this now, but it was really nice to kind of get back to work. I feel like after every fight or every event, or really even, every time you go live, there's always going to be those kind of thoughts just eating at you that you want to fix. And so it was nice to kind of start getting to that and addressing that and kind of fixing some of those holes and making sure next time's even better and even more exciting and more aggressive, more action, more violence, all the stuff. Just get better.
So before we get into the fight, before we get into everything, we're here in the gym. You're already putting in work 3 days later. What was the weekend like? Did you enjoy the victory?
Yeah, for sure. The victory itself is the enjoyment, I think Greg said it this morning because we were doing strength and conditioning and we were hitting the wall, and he was talking to us and he said something that really resonated with me. He says, any coach that says the hard part is over, now you can have fun after weigh-ins, is fucking stupid. It's one of the stupidest things he's ever heard. And I was like, yeah, that is. Because, the hard part is the fun part, the fight was the fun part. And, training is the fun part. I really try to use fights to supplement my training, not vice versa. Building the airplane is the fun part. I just got to go test fly, and I saw some holes, and so now I'm just eager to get back and finish, and that's the fun part.
And you had to wait, was it 2 years to be able to take this plane out on a ride again? Am I correct on that?
Yeah, 2 years. I really, I needed a break, just mentally to figure some things out. Really harmonize, who was going to be in my corner, who I surrounded myself with, what my goals were, and my mentality around fighting. Because I think I have a lot of fear around the idea of permanence, right? And professional, that's I get really anxious before I fight. Obviously, everyone freaking does, right? But I really realize it's not because I fear losing, but I really fear making mistakes that are stupid, With this fight, I knew that if I was to lose it, it was going to be because I got stupid. Rather, it was me getting overzealous and ending up, in her guard, trying to ground and pound there and ending up in an armbar or a triangle. Or rather, it was, approaching too quickly or too lazily and getting up-kicked in the face, or just, throwing a punch and then coming back to center. I knew that, if I lose a fight because they make me lose, then that's cool. But if I lose a fight because of something that was preventable that I did, that would really keep me up at night, and that would really hurt. But even then, everyone makes mistakes, and you always get over it.
How did you know that you were ready for that moment to make the pro debut?
I don't think I was. I don't think I'll ever be per se ready. I don't think that exists. But I definitely just have been working hard and felt confidence, and the opportunity finally came up, and I think a big part of it too is feeling safe. Andrew is such a good corner to me. He's such a good, he's a good man, he's a good coach, he's a great friend, he's a great teammate. He really teaches me so much, and I just felt safe with him in my corner, and I felt confident, and I felt very authentic in training, and so I just, I didn't feel ready, but I felt like it was time to rise to the occasion, because hopefully you rise to get ready, right? And so it was really fun, because like Greg said, the hard part's the fun part, so it was fun to have the hard.
What was the experience like? First off, it had been a while. What was camp like?
I guess I like training and I like being here, so I don't really think that my camp is normal like most people. I really just take that camp to focus on the weight do it slowly, do it correctly, do it with, you know, as athletically as possible. And then I really try to just really master that cardio, because that's really my focus for all my fights. It's just like cardio. If your cardio is not good, nothing else is going to work, right? So really just using my camp, those like 5 weeks, to really master my cardio, master my weight cut, and make sure that mentally I felt like a dog, you know? I think that's the most important thing, is like I feel like a dog. Yeah.
And then, what was the experience like? You've been flying to Invicta for a while. You finally go out to Kansas City. What's the whole experience of the first fight with them and everything?
I had really high expectations for Invicta just because I've heard so much about them already. But they I can't even put into words. Like, I just at a loss for words for just how much they exceeded my expectations, right? It was like the travel, like they let me pick the times of the airplanes. It was like, yeah, of course your coach is coming with you. Of course we're paying for that, duh. They like picked us up in like a van, like on time. And now, you know, it's just like compared to my amateur career where I had some amazing organizations I fought for, but I also had my fair share of like, you know, buttfuck Wisconsin and, you know, Hooters parking lots, right? So just their level, like weigh-ins happened early. I've never had weigh-ins happen early. And we came in, step on the scale real quick, first thing, boom, here's some water, you know, get the stuff, and then 2 hours we're going to go do the face-offs, and we had like interviews where they took photos of us and asked us questions, and those interviewers were so, you know, just like yourself, right? It's like, hey, I'm working for you. I'm gonna make you look good. Here's a question. Be inspired by it. You don't have to answer. You know, just really just felt like they were doing an art project on every single one of us, and everyone was so happy to be there, and everyone loved their job. And I love open scoring. I think it should be the standard, especially as MMA fighters as a whole just get better and better, especially for female ones, right? Because, you know, the smaller females, most of their fights are going to go decisions, right? If you're going to get a finish, it's probably going to be a submission or a TKO on the ground, right? But most of the time, you're going to go the distance, right? Having good judges, having fighters be able to know where they are in the fight is just really important, and I really respected that. It's an open contract. I can fight anywhere, whenever I want, and that was a big thing. But besides like a chance to fight in Albuquerque, hometown or something, like there's just no reason I would ever want it. They just treated me so good, and they didn't just treat me so good, because that's always a red flag when they only treat you good, right? They treated my opponent well. They treated every girl well. They had equal, really well-matched fights, right? And so that's something I really, just super honorable, super genuine. The entire experience felt really clean, and I'm excited to grow with them, and I'm excited to like make them some money, right? And see what else I can do for them and give back in that way.
Before we get to the fight, I heard there were some extracurriculars going on before we got to the fight. You had a couple of interactions in the hotel with your opponent before the fight. Want to go into some details?
Yeah, I mean, it's all over and under the bridge now, so I won't go into too much detail, but she was definitely just there to fight, you know? And she really adopted, you know, Nick and Nate Diaz, because I guess that's the gym that she comes from, so she really adopted that kind of style and that kind of attitude, and, you know, you're stealing everything they're working for, you know, you get it, haha, but ultimately, I'm just really thankful that I had an opponent and that she was down, and that she, you know, I was really impressed by her actually on the ground, because she was able to, you know, threaten getting guard back. She was able to, like, you know, I knew if I, like, wasn't on, she was going to try to submit me. She was going to, you know, like, she's had some really big successes as a purple belt and as a blue belt in the tournaments, and so, you know, she definitely, like, made me work, you know, and I'm thankful for that, and I'm thankful to share the cage and all that stuff. But it was genuinely very obvious that, like, hey, I'm here to hurt you, which, you know, I appreciate the upfrontness, and I appreciate how coach me, like, hey, we're not shaking hands. You know, I appreciate it. I think it was a great experience.
And in the fight, you just take Carly and you threw her on her back. And we saw your ground game again. I think you're being too modest earlier, talking about her abilities. Let's talk about your abilities. The ground and pound was on display. You get the second round TKO, and that second round was quite one-sided.
Yeah. No, she's definitely very good, but I just think I'm better. And I think that's ultimately what it comes down to. I have amazing coaches. Andrew, like I said, he's such a fucking genius everywhere, but especially on the ground. And, you know, even Greg Jackson, they've really, and Joey Villasenor, they all really have, and so many more. I can't just list them all. The amount of people who have, like, contributed to me is just unreal. But they really talk about not just MMA, but kind of the rules of human fighting, right? The art of war, that's what it is, right? But, you know, I remember one of the commentators when I was rewatching the fight said something like, I noticed she hasn't gone for any, you know, submissions, and I wonder if she just wants the TKO. And yeah, 100%. Jiu-jitsu's awesome, but jiu-jitsu's like a chocolate bar. Ground and pound and TKOs and that kind of Khabib catch wrestling style, that's like a chocolate bar with like caramel, and it's like a whatchamacallit bar. Those are my favorite ones. I really want to get one because it's been so long, and now that I'm done fighting, it's like, oh, snacks. But like turbolones too, those are great ones. But it's like a chocolate bar with all the fixins, right? Versus a regular chocolate. I love chocolate, they're both great. But I really am just in love with just this ability to hold someone down. Just that one-sided picking shots, and just, I'm all about freedom, you know, like when you're down there, you have the freedom between multiple choices, you know, like a little kid. Okay, when I give a kindergartner a choice, I say, hey, do you want to eat dinner or do you want to go to bed? Like, you have choices, you know, but they're all just my choices ultimately. But you think you're making choices, so, you know, give me your back or give me mount, take another elbow, or take this hand away to block your face, like making people choose and just kind of following that path like a game of Candyland is just so interesting. And you can see the same stuff on the wall and in striking and such, but on the ground is really fun because I get to, you know, play around and submit my teammates and, you know, strike with them all the time in here and have fun. But I don't get to just like elbow someone. Like, that's crazy. That's weird. Like, is that legal? Like, it's always so weird because it's like, is MMA legal? Like, it's so weird how we just step into this adult jumping castle and suddenly it's like this like freaking goth adult jumping castle, and suddenly it's legal to like hit someone. Like, that's weird. That's okay. But yeah, it's great to just test that out and battle test. And like I said too, it's weird because immediately after the fight we go backstage, and as soon as I get past the people and I'm in a safe area, I just start bawling, like panic attack full on, because when I think there's a lot of relief, there's a lot of adrenaline dump, but in my head I did so bad. And it's like when you see a car accident and you report on the car accident and it's just not what happened. Like, there's something about my brain that just told me how bad, and I was like, Andrew, I need my phone because I want to call and apologize to my mom. And it was just like, it made no sense. And watching back the fight, I'm like, what the fuck, Kayla? Like, I'm like genuinely embarrassed by how I was in the back, just how upset I was. Because one, I think it's fucking annoying when people win fights and they're like, boo, 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 boo. So it's just annoying because like you won, like get over it, right? And that's where I am now. It's like I got the win. I got in there and I did my best on that given day, and I'm happy with that. But I'm not satisfied, and I'm just really excited to go in there and just show off more, because I know I have more. Like I said, it's been 2 years and I've been in the gym that entire time just working hard and enjoying the process. And I want to, you know, build a bigger table with what I get, you know, rather it's getting sponsorships and being able to share that equipment with other teammates, or Rather it's knowledge and being able to share it with someone new, just like building a bigger table, I think it's so important to me. And I want more opportunities to show what's on this big table here, because I'm just so freaking aware of how lucky I am, you know. So I'm so lucky to be here. I'm so lucky to have the people I do. I have such an amazing support system. Like I'm really the luckiest girl alive, and I need to take advantage of that. I need to share that. So I want to get in there again as soon as possible. Just continue working hard.
All right, so what did your mom say when you talked to her?
Oh, so Andrew didn't let me have my phone for about 30 minutes after the fight till I stopped crying and till I kind of was rational. And I was really just, I forgot how your phone gets after you fight, you know? It's just like crazy. And I felt very overwhelmed, so I just turned the phone off again, and I just sat there for another 30 minutes. And then I called my mom, and I was like, hey, Mom, I won this and that, and I'm safe. That's what my mom likes to hear. My mom doesn't care if I win or lose. My mom just wants to hear I'm safe. And she watched my fight, so I know that she already knew, but she wants to hear it from my mouth, I'm safe, you know? And so after she heard that, she was like, you know, I'll give you your time and your space and all that stuff, but call me as soon as you feel ready to, and I love you, and I'm proud of you, and I have such an amazing mom, you know, she inspires me, you know, so much, because, you know, obviously she was a woman who was abused, you know, mentally, physically, all that stuff, right? And to go from that to a small business owner doing private investigations where she, you know, she helps people in those same situations. She empowers women, and she's just turned that complete full circle, and her story is so amazing, and it just inspires me so much. And so to have her support and have her be proud of me, I don't know, she already is. I'm just making it up. she already is. But like I said, it just feels good to have something I can actually show. Like, she was like showing people at her work, and she's even on my t-shirts. Like, I put her company on my t-shirts, Maxo. And so, yeah, I don't know, I started rambling, but it feels really great to have something to validate all the work.
I also wanted to ask you about your story coming out. It's a big thing to go on that Invicta platform and let your story come out and talk about the transformation and everything you went through. Was there a process also, you know, coming to grips with, you know, that's a personal thing that throughout this MMA journey, a lot of people are going to find out about?
Yeah, for sure. I don't want people to get the wrong idea about it. And sometimes when you see like transformation photos online, you get the wrong idea. Like, I'm the same person. I'm the same exact person. You know, as kind of like ashamed that I am to kind of like admit it, like I still have like issues with food. Like, during weight cuts, I'll eat like just tremendous amounts of asparagus, and I think all fighters do. But you know, not necessarily eating tremendous amounts of asparagus, but you all know fighters that after the fight will just blow up 20 pounds. And you know, it really comes down to turtles that need their shell. Every turtle needs their shell, because turtles evolved their shells to protect themselves, homes, right? Particularly sea turtles and I don't know if this is fact. I might be wrong. I read it in a book, right? Atomic Habits, but basically turtles built these shells to protect themselves from the coral reef, right? And in the same way, all turtles who have our own shells, rather it be, you know, food or video games, drugs, sex, violence, you know, all that kind of stuff, right? Everyone kind of has their demons that they use as their numbing agent, right? Procrastination, right? Alcohol, gambling, like the list goes on. Everyone has theirs. But ideally, instead of getting your shell and just transforming, like my addiction was like food and now my addiction's MMA, like, okay, sure. But rather than going your entire life just switching shell to shell to shell, get out of the fucking coral. Get out of the coral reef. Go crawl on land, you know? And so, that's really what I'm trying to do, is just be a turtle without any shell who can be vulnerable. And, you know, of course, you should always watch out for the coral, but even better than needing these shells is to just walk around freely, right? So that's, you know, just really just focusing on growing into the most authentic version of myself, and that's really what fighting gives me, right? Because the cool thing, one of my favorite things about fighting is just like there's no lying. I feel like we live in a world where there's so much fakeness that goes on, especially, social media, even what people say, what people make themselves look like. There's so much, and I'm definitely part of it too. I've definitely done that a lot too. And I don't think it's necessarily wrong, but with fighting, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you posted on social media. It doesn't matter if you told your coach that you ran every day. If your cardio sucks, your cardio sucks. It doesn't matter if your parents are together or dead or from this country or that country, what your shape is, what your color is, what your, sex is, what your, what kind of genders you're attracted to or whatever. All that matters is like your hard work. And of course there's like rules to that. Like if you're someone who's more well off, of course you can get a bunch of privates and all this stuff, but ultimately work is what translates over to wins in fights. Winning is it's a side effect of all the work I put in, all the hard fun, right? The hard fun. And winning's just a consequence of that. But yeah, I just love that MMA is real, and if you have problems within your corner, it will expose itself because everything is just so many feelings are amplified. And if you have any self-doubt, it will be amplified too. And so I really think that that's why I needed those 2 years to just really collect myself and think about who I am and what I want out of my career, and really just my irrational brain to make even my most irrational brain realize that, I deserve to go out and try my best,
As soon as the fight was over, you had a name right on the tip of your tongue that you called out. Is that still who you want to fight next?
Well, I think every fighter is going to agree with, it's like, I'll fight anyone, right? Like any kind of fight I could get would be awesome to just get in there. And that's why I'm really thankful to have Sucker Punch, right? My management team, because Chad does such an amazing job, and it feels good to just know that he's looking out for me, he's going to handle it, he's going to do this, and I'm going to be okay, and I don't need to focus on that kind of dirty stuff, right? And it's not dirty, it just feels dirty. Chad's amazing, but
business is harsh, right?
Business is harsh, right? I just want to punch people. I want to do the easy part, I don't want to do the mean stuff. I just want to hurt people, but it feels, everyone, like I was saying, every fighter is like, I'll fight everyone, but I think it's really good to promote yourself in a way where you have a name, right? I would give the people watching something to look forward to, right? Like, it's a good story. MMA is all about stories and inspiration and violence, right? You competed against my sister and that fight didn't go her way, so let me see if I can handle that, right? It's interesting. People like things that are interesting. And so I don't have bad blood. It's not like I want to fight you more than anyone else, but it's interesting and it's there and it's a good matchup, and I would be excited to do that. But ultimately, yeah, I'll fight anyone, but I definitely would like it to be in Invicta. The only thing I would do that would be outside of Invicta is maybe if I could fight something local, but I don't think New Mexico's getting that back for a while, so we'll see about that. But yeah, I would love to fight Chelsea. I would love to fight Chelsea or anyone, and lefty would be fun because there's so many great lefties here, and I would love to show off that element of my game.
Gotta ask about the love of anime. We can obviously see the inspiration behind the logo. We all recognize that character. Talk to me about the love of anime and cartoons.
Yeah, so Kirby, right? So Buff Pikachu, I don't know. I watched it a lot when I was a kid, and I always loved it, and it made me happy and it's nostalgic. And I just think the concept of Pokemon 2 is just so funny. Like, you're just catching these little weird monsters. Like, it's just so funny. But it was something that made me happy, and it kind of just grew from there, and then like people were like, oh, she likes this, so let me get her a Pikachu. And like Marissa got me this giant Pikachu stuffed animal, and it just grew into a character of its own. And then like I get comments a lot on my arms, which is like purely genetics, right? Like purely, I just happen to have genetics for biceps, like but so I did a buff Pikachu, and that seemed valid. That seemed like a good little mascot there. I really enjoyed drawing. I used to want to be an animator when I was a little, younger, and I was so overweight. I remember a turning point for me was when I found anime, and I remember I was watching One Piece, and there's this one scene where this character Chopper is looking to the ocean and all sad, and the mentor of Chopper, says something across the lines of, hey, as long as you keep looking, the world is a big place. You will find the people that love you, and you will find your reasons for living, and you will find, good things out there as long as you stay looking, and that really resonated with me. And I definitely found my people and my reasons and all of that stuff. So I think One Piece will always have like top spot in my heart, but like Pokemon's awesome, Avatar is awesome, Legend of Korra is awesome, Hunter x Hunter is awesome, my Hero Academy, One Punch Man, Attack on Titans, I don't know, the list goes on. I like all of them. Naruto, I like the original better than the Shippuden, but even the Shippuden's really good. But tuning exams was just like, oh my gosh. I really think me and Andrew, next fight, I would really love to crossplay Brock Lee and his guy Sensei, because I think that's us. If you see Naruto, that's exactly the relationship I have with my coach. So that would be cool. It makes me happy. I like drawing. I like the art that goes into it. It's art. I really identify myself, as an athlete and as a fighter, but more than that, an artist. I really just, in all aspects, the art is what really interests me.
And I gotta ask about the art on the arm. What was the story behind your tattoo right there, the desert scenery?
You know what? I'm gonna get my phone and I'm gonna pull out the artist who gave me this, his Instagram, and show you guys real quick. But his name was Justin, and he's from Tucson, Arizona, and he did this great piece of work on my arms. And it's not done yet, because I want to go up into the sky with it. And then being from Albuquerque, this is Arizona obviously, but being from Albuquerque, I'd love to go up into the sky and add some like hot air balloons and such, and then mountains, and then here I'd love to go into space and just kind of continue it. I really like landscapes and like being outdoors and hiking, running in the foothills, that kind of stuff really makes me happy. So, and I like it. It's bright, it's colorful, but I'll get you guys his, oh, he's gonna love this. All right, there he is.
So what's the Instagram?
I'm gonna butcher his last name, but there it is. So he does all kind of cool stuff.
Cool.
And let's try it. Justin Orangan Tattoos.
You want to spell it out for everybody?
Yeah. Justin, Justin, Oriani Tattoos. Tattoos. And then one more time, I'll just show it to you guys. But yeah, he does all kind of great work, great colors, great artist, does great landscapes. And so if you're ever in Tucson, Arizona, that's who I would recommend. But yeah.
And was that something that he drew, you drew? Was that a collaboration?
I wanted something that could, be there and remind me of home and my mom and Arizona and happiness, right? Just the colors of being outside. And then he does a lot of this kind of style of just Arizona. So he was able to really just whip something up that was just perfect. So I can't wait to finish it. It's just like, anytime you get a tattoo, you have to take like a few days off of training, and like, especially because like, as a tattoo artist tattoo artists should get angry if you're gonna go train, and then I don't want to make anyone angry and ruin their art that's on me. And it's just like,
It's hard to stop the training.
Yeah, I think maybe Christmas this year, just because a lot of people tend to leave for Christmas anyways. I'll have some time to kind of like recover without missing too much, but we'll see. Eventually, for sure.
Awesome. Thank you for the time, sitting down, getting to know Kayla.
Oh, yes, thank you. I appreciate it.